Pastor Ed here with Daily Devotions for Wednesday, January the 17th, 2024. Been talking about change this week and also how we deal with the past and the future. And in the context of that second chapter of Mark that we're going to be looking a little bit more specifically at tomorrow, but just wanted to say a little bit more about change today. Of course, in that passage in Mark 2, we had the healing of the paralytic. We had the call of Levi, the tax collector. Obviously, their lives went through huge change due to their encounters with Jesus. There was a question about the fasting, and then follow up to that, Jesus talks about the unshrunk cloth and the old and new wineskins, all in the context of change and being willing to accept change, embrace change, even as I talked about in my sermon. But I came across this interesting thing about the past. You know, we often idolize the past. Remember, I in my sermon, if you heard my sermon, I said we often idolize the past and we resist the future, where really Jesus, and in fact the whole New Testament, really the whole Bible, when you get right down to it, is all about remembering the past, honoring the past, but accepting and even embracing the future. But somebody came up with a list of things that remembering in the past. For instance, remember when the only internet access was dial-up. I remember that. It was like, and it would wait forever. When telephones all had cords. And then even beyond that, the rotary dial kind of a thing. And you know, then you had the buttons that you pushed. When diapers weren't disposable. That's a little bit before my time. By the time I was changing diapers with my daughters, they were disposable. When there was no such thing as air conditioning, and heat came from a wood stove. Some of these are going a little bit way back. When a disease would hit a community and lots of people would die. You know, it's amazing, with the COVID pandemic. Unfortunately, tragically, there were so many deaths at first, but very quickly, because they've been working on vaccines that ultimately helped us with this, but they kind of got rolled out pretty quickly. When the bathroom was outside, now that's before my time, at least in houses that I lived in, but my grandmother's house up in Pennsylvania, they had indoor plumbing, but when I was a little boy, and if there was a lot of people there, she still had the outhouse way out the back. You walked out the backyard and up the path to the outhouse, and I remember that. I remember using it. When keeping in touch meant mailing a letter. Almost nobody does that anymore. When cataracts meant that you were blind, now they're able to remove them. When babies were born at home on purpose. Again, the grandmother, my paternal grandmother, well, my maternal grandmother as well. The one had 9 children, the other had 12, all of them born at home. That's just the way you did it. When your only vehicle was 1 horsepower, because that's what it was. Again, some of these go way back, but the person, makes the point, life was simpler in a lot of ways. On the other hand, if you got seriously ill, there were not many treatment options, so you probably died. When the country faced a depression, you just did without a lot of things. If you wanted to get somewhere, you necessarily couldn't. So the point was, not everything about the past is glorious and desirable, even though in many ways we often try to idolize it as if it was better. There's a lot of reasons, but we do want to remember the past. There's the classic story in 1629, when the favorite wife of the Indian ruler Shah Jahan died. He ordered that a magnificent tomb be built as a memorial to her. And he placed his wife's casket in the middle of a parcel of land, and then the construction of the temple literally began around it. But several years into the venture, the Shah's grief for his wife kind of gave way to even greater passion for this project to complete this temple. Now, one day while he was surveying the site, he reportedly stumbled over this wooden box that he had some workers just simply throw it out. And it was months went by before he realized that it was his wife's casket that had been destroyed. And so the point is, the original purpose for this memorial got lost in the details of the construction. They built the Taj Mahal, but they forgot the reason for the building. They forgot what their mission truly was. And so, you have to keep your eyes on the prize. And that's certainly true of us in the church. And that's true why we never try to deny the past, forget the past, whatever. Don't idolize it, but remember the past. Remember who you are, what you're doing, and why. Frederick Buechner once wrote, "Hope stands up to its knees in the past, keeps its eyes on the future." There's never been a time past when God wasn't with us as the strength beyond our strength, the wisdom beyond our wisdom, that keeps us human enough at least to get by despite everything in our lives that tends to wither the heart and make it less than human. To remember the past, he says, is to see that we are here today by grace and that we have survived as a gift. And so there's great value in the past, not to worship the past, but to hold the past, to remember the past, to build on the past as we encounter and accept and even embrace the future. So we're going to wrap up that today and then come back tomorrow, talk a little bit more about Mark 2 specifically. Till then, take care. Have a great day. Bye.